I'm Jackee Taylor, Butch Crouch's daughter, and I'm chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Jackee Taylor.
I mean, we would have made millions off of it. It'd be New York Times bestseller. I know, weeks and weeks and weeks in a row. This book is huge. It's the Real Life Sons of Anarchy.
So what? He's getting paid on Patreon for this?
He never released it because we couldn't come to an agreement. So they're waiting for the contract to expire or waiting for me.
So what is the solution to all this? What do you want to happen?
At this point, they've stolen from me. So at this point, I have no fear. I have no mercy. I'm getting everything back. I did offer him a dual structured buyout to where he could buy this because I'm not making any money on doing anything. They're stifling me. Now I have my other business in Montana, but they're stifling me from doing stuff. And this is my life. It's my what do you call it? My passion job, my passion project. I work with the community out here. You know, I had a bar and restaurant out here, but it's not making any money. I needed this over here. I needed to release hate and discontent so I could do more things with here. At this point, I just want everything back. I can't specifically say what we have planned, but what we have planned will get everything back. I offered, buy hate. You guys want to release hate and discontent? Okay, go ahead. Just now you buy it from me. Give me my rights back. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. I don't want secret meetings with so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so that I didn't even know about until after you guys bombed them and told, these great, huge Hollywood names to F off because you didn't like how they looked. I don't want that. I want to be in control of my own life. Now I know what I'm doing in Hollywood. I have a lot of really good friends. Not a lot. I have 5 really very good people in Hollywood that I trust with my life now that I'm working with. And no, we're not working. We're gathering. So, and I'm allowed to do that at this point. I can gather as much stuff as I want. I'm not making any money doing it, but nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't do for a living. Period. Nobody's going to stifle my voice anymore. Nobody's going to have control over me at all, ever again. And if he thinks that this little hillbilly from Montana is going to just sit back and let him take everything from me, my life that I got, my inheritance from my father that he bestowed upon me, that's history that needs to be released. And furthermore, it's freaking mine. If he thinks he's going to take that and everything that I've worked hard for in my life and leave me homeless and penniless, and he thinks that I won't fight back, he's got another thing coming. So the reason that he met me is because he listened to my podcast and he loved my strength and my resilience. He forgot about that. So we'll see what happens. But
no, they done this to other people too.
They have done this to other people.
Recorded phone calls and released them.
Yep.
All kinds of really shady things, right?
Oh, yeah. He's had to take down some content. He's got his Instagram page taken down I don't know how many times. He hasn't done this right. And you got to be respectful. So you can't fly drones over bro's house. I was telling you about this. Flying drones over a grandma's house because her grandson pissed you off and now you want to scare them. That's not scaring people. That's being an idiot bully. He has no strategy. He just does whatever the hell he wants. I'd suggest probably looking at your chessboard. I'd suggest definitely looking at your chessboard before you try to make a move against somebody like me, because at this point I have nothing to lose and all my ducks are in a row. So, and I'm not afraid. I don't have anything to be afraid of. I've been afraid my whole life. I've sacrificed. I've not been allowed to talk, and that's not happening anymore. I'm here to get my shit back.
You were told by your parents, the Hells Angels you were told by the feds, don't do this, don't say who you really are.
all my, my whole life. And now they're trying to control the narrative of, the second part of my life. I'm 52 years old. I have no health insurance. There's things that I need in my life, and he knows that. I recorded him on the restaurant camera, him laughing about me having a tumor right here. That's not funny. I'm not part of a collection. I'm a human being. It's not funny that I have medical issues that need to be addressed. So I'm here to teach them a lesson. And I don't like people like that, because it just bothers me. Not so much that it's just me, but it's because he's done it to other people. And I'm an empath, and I'm very sensitive to human suffering like that. And I can handle my own. And at the end of the day, it's not going to kill me. It's not going to kill me. It's not going to kill me if these guys get away with my shit. But they're not. And I already know that. But I'm not going to let them. I'm not going to stand still and watch that happen. But what it does, it's not going to kill me that they did that, is what I'm trying to say.
You just don't even like
kill other people. And I
in possession of your things anymore, right?
No,
you just don't even want them.
No, because they lied and they didn't do, and keeping me from having pictures from my mother's funeral. What? And having the videos to be able to, that's like, what? I didn't realize that evil existed like that in Hollywood. I had no clue until I met these two. And it's sad because I was so naive and stupid and trusting. And I wish I could go back, just like we were talking today. God, I wish I had that stuff. Yeah, tell me about it. Every second of the day, every second of every minute of every day, I'm kicking myself for trusting those idiots.
You're just wishing that you could have been more patient with yourself and really take your time instead of rushing things with these guys.
Yeah, I wish I would have met the right people, because now I have met the right people, and now I could drop the book next week, and drop 5 books after that. I have a structured plan, and I doubted myself, and they convinced me that, you don't know Hollywood, and I didn't, and they were right. But you can't tell somebody that they can't learn, that they can't educate themselves on a subject that they know nothing about, which is what I did with, contract reading and understanding exactly what that said, and what I would have to do to get out of it, the moves that I have to make. So it's just been the past 8 months of me reading and talking to people, and talking to attorneys and this and that, and figuring out our game plan, because, he is a powerful attorney, but that doesn't, like I said, that doesn't scare me. So I want this back, and I want him to stop doing this. And let's go back to, I want to reiterate the fact that I don't like how Bo has evolved over the years. The money has gone to his head. He's bragging about having a $50,000 couch, a $200,000 wardrobe. I have that video that I sent you that I took in Ohio, and that's a one-party consent state. So we can sure air that of him buying that T-shirt.
Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of an auction, extending it 2 minutes every time somebody bids?
Come on, these people are making money. If they can see something heat up, they're going to sit there and get it.
Though.
Come on, let's say yes.
I guess it stops people from sniping last minute snipe bids.
That's exactly right.
Oh, just got it.
You did?
Got it.
Yeah, 14.
You got it at 14?
How much did you just pay for that shirt?
$17,640.
Come on, you got it at...
And just how he originally told me he was going to do things within the archive and put the books together. And he sent me his books, and I'm like, God, these are really good. I would love for my father's stuff to be done like that. These are the guys that can help me. Oh my God, these are perfect, but then nothing has been put out. We're just at a standstill because Bo has some issues.
All they do is brag on Instagram about what they got, right?
Start fights and brag about all the that he's got. Okay, so then put some stuff out, honor your contract, and they're not honoring the contract whatsoever. So, there's that, but just mishandling merchandise. And by mishandling, I mean, yes, he's taking great care of it. There's no doubt in my mind that everything is clean and acid proof sheets like he has. Everything's categorized perfectly because, like I said, he's a clean freak. But what's not being done is what he promised, to put out the history, to preserve the history. He's bogarting the history. They bought Hunter S. Thompson's archive. They've bought a lot of archives, and they're not putting anything out. They're controlling the narrative of when the history is released and what the public is allowed to know. There's, who knows, that Hate and Discontent, other books that my father wrote or other people wrote, those could be beneficial and something, and not just history.
They didn't get all the archives.
No, they didn't get all
right?
the archives.
They didn't get them all.
They didn't get them all, that's for sure.
So I hope it all goes well for you, and
Thank
we'll be
you.
here to do a follow-up. Let me know about Judy, that woman. Yes. Judy, if she ever wants to do an interview and talk.
Oh, I'm sure she might. I don't know. She doesn't like to be on camera too much, but she'll talk.
Yeah, I mean, I could put her on. I could put her not on camera, but do it with audio.
Yeah, she might do that. She's affiliated. She's got family in the club, and Bo had asked her mom if he could make copies of some pictures, and he never sent those pictures back. And when her mother was on her deathbed, and I shit you not, she wanted to be surrounded by some of her photos, and she didn't have those photos. And that is a very, very sore subject for my sweet little Judy, is that she had to listen to her mother cry, that she just wanted to see those photos. And that's stuff that those guys laughed about. I sat in the office with Paul and said, what about Judy? We got to figure out Judy. He said, and he laughed about it. That's not funny. It's not funny that you stole this woman's stuff and that, that's hurtful and that's not being a good human. So I have no patience and I have no tolerance for people like that in this world. And I intend to put a stop to it. So there's that. So I'm sure Judy.
I believe you. I believe you.
There's no stopping me at this point because, like I said, I have nothing to lose, and they have made absolute sure that I have nothing to lose. So watch this, boys.
It'll be good.
Hell's Little Angel. Yeah. Yep. Did I ever tell you about when I got a couple club members that wanted me to change my handle because it's Hell's Little Angel? Did I tell you about that?
No.
They were like, that's disrespectful. It's a play on words, and you can't be doing that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't even know me, and I earned that name. But I'll tell you one thing. This is what I'll do for you. If you want me to change it, I will change it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in all caps. It was like, fuck you, that's so disrespectful. I'm like, well, here's how I feel about this. You're acting like a teenage girl on Instagram, bitching about my screen handle. Okay, why don't you put your phone down, you little bitch? And I texted him, or I messaged him on Instagram. So why don't you put your phone down, you little bitch? He's late 30s. I don't give a shit about what those guys say. No offense to the cool ones, but there's, who I'm talking about. The guy from freaking Perry, who I'm talking about. I said, why don't you put your freaking phone down, stop acting like a little bitch, and go ride your motorcycle and be a Hell's Angel, okay? And that was that. Nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't do. I'm respectful to the club, but don't disrespect me because I pretty much, they say, oh, so many people have given their lives for the club. Yeah, so did I. So did I. I gave my life to the club too.
Your father made sure of it.
Yeah, I do what I want when I want. I'll do it. I'm not going to be disrespectful like Bo. I won't be disrespectful like Bo. I will never be blatantly, outright disrespectful like Bo Bushnell, but I'm still going to tell my story. And, after we recorded every episode of Relative Unknown, and when it got cut and edited, I put in my contract, I want to listen to it before it is aired. I listen to it. Sometimes hey, don't say this name because his kid just died. And I don't want, the feelings are they're really sensitive in the club right now. So let's leave this out. Let's not talk about that. I had to make some changes. And I had a very prominent member of the club listen to each episode in the morning, because it would release, they would drop it Tuesday morning at midnight. So he would get up an hour earlier than he normally did. He'd get up at 4 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. and listen to that hour. And then he'd call me on his lunch break and say, hey, you did a great job. Thanks for being respectful. And that happened 10 episodes. And I was in absolute, I don't want to, not that I'm not a member of the club, but I'm going to be respectful. But at the same time, I need respect shown to me as well, because I've never disrespected the club. I did make a mistake, and I publicly apologize, because I thought that Bo Bushnell was going to take care of the archive and preserve it like he promised. He's really, really stepped on a lot of toes with having my father's archive, and that was a mistake to trust him. And I am very sorry about that, because that did anger a lot of club members, but it was a mistake. You know, we make mistakes. I screwed up.
I think the Hells Angels would have preserved his memory better than Bo Bush.
Yeah, you know what they did with his patches?
Burned them.
No, they put him in the fire pit. This is what I heard. And they all pissed, and they all on his patches, and then they set him on fire and had a big bonfire and a big party that night. A big Butch is dead. The rat is dead party, which, you know, you guys do you. I understand. You know, he put a lot of those guys through hell, dragging them back and forth to the trials and stuff. So I understand they're still angry about that. I get that, and rightfully so. But I had to do that. I was actually offered $200,000 for those patches by a college professor, and I turned it down as a single mom. So that shows my respect right there.
And that has nothing to do with you. What your dad did has nothing to do with you.
No, because I'm not my father. I am my father, but I'm not my father. I know what's right and wrong, and I'm just trying to live righteously now and be a good person. So, and I'm not about hurting people, but I am about exposing people. Absolutely. People that need to be exposed. So, and that's the whole plight behind Jackee Taylor. That's all I've ever done. But one day I just want peace. And this is, you know, this is how I'm trying to get my peace. I need to talk, and make changes within witness protection. That's my end game, is testifying up at Capitol Hill and making the necessary changes and working with the marshals to help make those changes. And then I can be done. Then I can live out here in Montana in the mountains with my mountain men friends and my new horse, and I can enjoy my life. That's my end game. Anyways, done. Sorry. I can go on for hours, Bill.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we go?
Shout out to all my freaking people that I have talked to in the past couple of weeks to get my head right, because this is a lot of stress. So, you know, Jody and Chris and Nate and my kids and everybody, man, thank you guys so freaking much for listening to me and being there with me and just distracting me from what this is all about. And thank you to you, and thank you to my new partner. You know who you are. And thank you to the people in LA, and you know who you are. And I can't even say their names. But yeah, all my people. I have like the best group of people in my life right now. And it's just really given me the strength. And they're all like, you got this. I'm like, I freaking do, don't I?
Because yeah, you do.
It's nobody wants to fight. I don't like fighting, but you know, it is what it is, and I'll get her done. But
that's fun sometimes.
People in my life and my kids, man, just everything is, in light of all this crap I'm going through, I don't think I've ever been happier in my life, you know, and that's a decision that I choose to make by realizing what I already have in my life. So don't worry about me. I'll be just fine. But thank you. And thank you.
No problem. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too bad. Start your own podcast. Peace.